Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about a brand new stimulus bill proposal. I'm going to give you the latest stimulus bill news, and we're going to be specifically talking about the back to work bonus of $450 per week. This is interesting for a few reasons. Number one, it has a lot of support, including support from the White House. And number two, it's an ongoing incentive. I'm going to be breaking down the details in this video, so be sure to stick around and check it out if you want to know more. My name is Kevin Conway. I make personal finance videos like this one all the time, and I give stimulus news update videos as well. I have a lot of videos on unemployment insurance if you have any questions on that, and a lot of videos on stimulus checks, as well as those on investing, what credit cards to get, and what bank accounts to get. Be sure to check those out if you want to know more. Give a like to this video if it helped you out in any way. It certainly would help me out, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get right into it. So what is this proposal? The back to work bonus. Well, it is a proposal out of the Senate, specifically out of an Ohio senator, and that's going to be important, and I'll tell you why a little later. And it is for those who are unemployed as an incentive to get them back into the workforce. So as everyone is aware, we've had over 35 million people lose their jobs in a very short period of time, and the majority of those people are on unemployment insurance, which is a good thing because unemployment insurance was expanded in the CARES Act to be extremely generous. It covers a lot more people now, gig workers, independent contractors, and the like, and it comes with a $600 per week pandemic unemployment insurance bonus on top of your state benefit. Simply put, the CARES Act looked at the average worker salary of $970 per week, and it looked at the average state unemployment insurance benefit of $370 per week, and it said $600 is the difference between the two. We're going to give states an additional $600 so that we can get a 100% wage replacement for those individuals who lost their jobs. Seems like a pretty good idea. I mean, you wanted to replace the wages of people who lost their jobs because of this pandemic. A lot of governments shut down commerce everywhere. It kind of made sense. You took away people's jobs, you want to replace their wages. But here is where the problem for a lot of politicians actually came into play. A lot of people did not make $970 per week at their job before the pandemic. They made less than that amount. And there's a great chart, I'll put it up here, from 538, which actually lists what professions make on average per week a certain dollar amount and what they're making now on unemployment insurance as a percentage of what they made before. So if you work in retail, if you work in hospitality, if you work as a janitor or even a teacher, oftentimes you're going to be making more on unemployment insurance through your state and federal benefits than you did at your job. And as a result, where is the incentive for you to go back to work? It's not you being lazy, it's just you being incredibly rational. You're getting paid more not to work as opposed to going to work and actually getting paid less. That is what the back to work bonus seems to actually try to get an incentive aligned between the worker in trying to go back to work and actually what has been a result of the CARES Act. So this $450 per week in back to work bonus that has been proposed is actually for the workers who are unemployed now as an incentive for them to go back to work. That $450 per week is going to be something that they can continue to collect in addition to whatever they're being paid at their job. So previously, if you were making $970 per week, let's just call it $1,000 per week in unemployment insurance, and you typically make $800 every week at your job, you could see why it wouldn't really make sense for you to want to go back to work. But now with that $450 bonus proposal, you would be making over $1,200 at your job as opposed to $1,000 in unemployment insurance. There is the incentive for you to want to go back to work. That is what this goal is meant to accomplish. So this back to work bonus has a lot of support, not just out of the Senate, but also out of the White House. Specifically, Larry Kudlow, an economic advisor for the president, has stated very, very clearly that they're looking specifically at this proposal as a policy proposal to actually implement in order to get the economy going again. This is something that they're going to be looking at very, very closely. Now, a while ago, I made a video on the HEROES Act, the bill that was passed through the House of Representatives by the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives, and that bill is now in the Senate. Now, the Senate's not meeting again until June 1st, so we don't know what they're going to do with the HEROES Act, but because of this new back-to-work bonus proposal, they are probably going to look at the HEROES Act and say, that act expanded unemployment insurance all the way until January of next year. We don't want to disincentivize work. We'd rather pay people to go back to work. Maybe we can meet in the middle here. And I think that has a really good shot of passing. Now, this proposal isn't without its faults. There are things that are wrong with this proposal. Now, first and foremost, this proposal, the back to work bonus, only goes until when the unemployment insurance expansion of $600 per week was scheduled to end. That is July 31st of this year. That's just 2 months from now. And because Congress is not fully in session right now and Congress takes forever to do anything, I don't expect this bill to actually pass until later in the month of June, which only leaves 1, 2, maybe 3 pay periods of additional $450 per week that employees can actually get, assuming that they get hired right away. Now, that is a problem because that doesn't exactly tip the scales in favor of people wanting to jump back into work if they're only going to get this bonus for a short period of time. Part of the way to remedy this is actually to extend that date further out and actually allow people to get that $450 a week more on a going forward basis. We'll see if Congress actually does that. Now, there are other problems as well. For example, employers may use this as a subsidy to actually keep employees on payroll as they hire them back, and then when the subsidy goes away, they may fire them again and be left in the same situation. Right now, that is a lot of unemployed workers, but by and large, maybe it'll be the case that the economy will be stronger later on and employers will keep those employees. Probably the biggest problem with this proposal is the fact that simply a lot of these jobs are not expected to come back. A lot of economists predict that up to 40% of the jobs that were lost during the pandemic may never come back. A lot of employers have switched to outsourcing work, to automating work, to using less employees to do the same amount of work. And as a result, a lot of people aren't able to go back to work. I mean, it's great if you can get that extra $450 per week as a bonus to go back to work as an incentive, but if you don't have a job waiting for you, if there's not something that you can actually go and get right away, it doesn't really help you. Furthermore, this is narrowly tailored to just those people who are unemployed, who are now going to be employed. It doesn't matter if you are employed now or if you were unemployed and have already gone back to work, or if you are on Social Security benefits, veterans benefits, disability, those sorts of things. That's not covered in this proposal, as opposed to the previous stimulus bill proposals, which included a very broad subset of people and was agnostic to whether or not you had a job or didn't have a job. As a result, it might be a little politically dicey to pass this narrowly tailored bill. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I think it's important that this bill came out of a senator from Ohio. And the reason I say that is because no president from the Republican Party has ever been re-elected or elected in recent memory without getting Ohio electoral votes, period. And because President Trump is a Republican and he needs the swing state of Ohio, I think they're going to pay a lot more attention to this specific proposal coming out of that specific senator, as opposed to a senator from a state that is more or less going to vote the way it has in the recent past, such as California or Texas. There are additional proposals on the books, such as a payroll tax holiday, but those are going to be worked out in the future. There's a lot of things that are going to be changing, but I want to hear what you have to say in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this proposal. I want to hear them. Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? What are your thoughts of the economy out there? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to give a like to this video. If it helped you out in any way, I would sincerely appreciate it. Now, I hope you stay healthy and stay safe. Subscribe to the video to stay informed on the latest stimulus bill updates and other personal finance news. I'll see you next time. Thanks.